We don't need black faces that don't want to be a black voice. We don't need Muslims that don't want to be a Muslim voice. We don't need queers that don't want to be a queer voice.
Black people, they can't think for themselves.
Yeah.
Muslims, they can't think for themselves.
Gay people, they have to think super gay.
Vivek Ramaswamy was just speaking in Iowa, and he called out leftist racism that he's personally experienced in this country. CNN was not happy about it.
The greatest racism I have experienced racism, comes from the modern left at a scale unimaginable, because I think they feel a sense of betrayal, saying that you're not speaking in the tone that you're supposed to. You literally did. So Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley, I believe not putting words in anybody else's mouth. I believe taking people at their own terms on their own words. Right? So I don't believe in straw men. Ayanna Pressley, she's in the Congress today. She's a member of the squad. Her words, not mine. We don't want any more black faces that don't want to be a black voice. We don't want any more brown faces that don't want to be a brown voice. Literally word for word. I'm not putting words in anybody's mouth. Ibram Kendi wrote the book, How to Be an Anti-Racist. I wrote Woke Inc. It was a pretty successful book. His sold more copies than mine. Here's what it says. Opening lines. The remedy to past discrimination is present discrimination. The remedy to present discrimination is future discrimination. So the other side will gaslight you when you say this stuff. It's like, oh, you're just making that critical race theory stuff up. No. These aren't my words. These are the words of the modern grand wizards of the modern KKK.
What's your reaction to that, Bakari?
Ramaswamy's kind of idiotic when he says that, and this is why his campaign has caught fire amongst some fringes on the right, because he uses these kind of slogans, he uses these tag words, but again, he has no depth. I mean, Ayanna Pressley doesn't need me to explain what she was saying, but if you are going to be someone who represents minorities in this country, if you're going to be a voice and represent them on the largest platform in the world, then you must actually speak truth to power about those issues that directly affect them. That's what Representative Pressley is saying, that you have to be true to yourself, that you have to be uplifting of your community, and you cannot act like the ills that affect black and brown people don't affect you.
But what if those issues really don't affect that person? Do they have to lie and say what you want them to say? Do they still have to be a liberal? Do they still have to pretend that their life is filled with racism?
And for him to call her all types of names is just beneath the dignity of this type of civil discourse. Race is a very, very difficult issue for this country to grapple with. Ramaswamy in that comment showed that he's unable or unwilling or simply doesn't have the intellect necessary to tackle that issue of race.
I get so tired of this talking point. If you don't agree with me, you just don't have the intellect to understand these issues. This is the exact type of gaslighting that Vivek was just talking about. You said Vivek had no depth. Were you looking in the mirror? You didn't provide any points. All you did was say that Vivek isn't smart enough to understand these issues. You didn't even provide a reason. All you did was repeat what Pressley said and agreed with it. It might have been an exaggeration to say that this is the modern day KKK, but leftists want to take ownership of race. They say that all black people or all people of color have to vote for them.
If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
Biden wanted to keep segregation, but the left just ignores this. They suppress it. They pretend like it never happened. I don't see how Ramaswamy is idiotic for saying that most racism he faces is from the left. A lot of leftists out there will tell people of color that they're handicapped because of the color of their skin. They also look at black people as a unit rather than individuals. They aren't allowed to make their own decisions. They have to make decisions based on the color of their skin. How racist is that? Ayanna Pressley saying we don't want more black faces who don't want to be black voices in itself is a racist statement. She's basically saying your opinion doesn't matter if you don't agree with me. If you don't have an issue with what Pressley said, or Joe Biden saying if you don't vote for me, then you're not black, but you do have an issue with what Ramaswamy said, and only that, then you'll clearly just defend the left no matter what. Because those two first statements are some of the most racist things you'll ever hear in modern times. "We don't want you and you're not included because you're black and don't agree with me" is racist, no matter how you try to paint it. Only someone on CNN would say otherwise. But that's all I have for this video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Ramaswamy calling out Ayanna Pressley. And don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and subscribe for more content just like this, and I will see you in the next upload.